Hello and welcome to a session. Our talk is presented by 4 PhD students at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee who serve as mentors for new GTAs who will be teaching English 102, which is a first-year writing class that focuses on college research and writing. One of us also serves as the course coordinator. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the onboarding and training of new GTAs, how we make connections between composition and creative writing studies, in the design of our English 102. After the short video, we'll present a number of instructor-facing materials and activities so that by the end of the session, you'll have a list of tips that you can use to implement some of ideas at your institution. Our orientation, which runs in late August and early September, starts around June when the director of first-year comp and the course coordinator reach out to incoming GTAs. We are highly focused on a care-based pedagogy in our orientations to GTA training. So we spend a few months over the summer building community between the mentors and incoming GTAs by frequently communicating via email and on our Discord platform, which has several channels where community can solicit advice, seek and post resources, arrange one-on-one phone calls, or small gatherings for lunch or coffee, all pre-orientation. So during the orientation, we continue building community and relationality through care-based pedagogy that's enacted throughout each of the 10 days of orientation. We offer coffee and light breakfast in the morning. We offer lunch with informal conversations. And we invite numerous people from around campus that we collaborate with, such as the Writing Center, the library, the health center. And we invite other graduate students who come and talk about ways to be involved at UWM beyond teaching and taking classes. Our English 102 curriculum is unique and it departs from a traditional research class that focuses on a traditional research paper. Our course focuses on 21st century critical information literacy practices and putting these into action with a genre product aimed at particular groups of stakeholders. This approach also allows for connecting criticality to creativity. A curriculum that requires a good amount of learning and unlearning in order for GTAs to reorient towards a different type of research writing. We push new GTAs to think about the ways they have learned and in some cases taught research and writing, which can be challenging. So we focus on compassion and care as we go through this intensive training in our curriculum.
So after such a robust orientation, it's important to keep the community that we took such care to build alive and well. Many of the GTAs have never taught before or have limited teaching experience, and even those who have substantial teaching experience have typically not taught a curriculum like English 102 at UWM. We don't want the new GTAs to feel like they've been thrown into the teaching world with no support or that they're on their own. That wouldn't be very caring of us. So to keep the community and support going, we require new GTAs to take a 1-credit practicum course, co-taught by the mentors, but also featuring speakers such as library staff and counseling center representatives, people across campus who they might need to have information from to pass on to their students or to help them with their pedagogy. This course, the practicum, provides the new GTAs with lots of useful information, like teaching demos, deeper insight into some of the rhetorical terms we're asking our students to use, ideas for lesson plans, samples for the creative projects that the students will do later in the semester, just a lot of different things that help them visualize how the class is going to go, especially for those who have not had much teaching experience. It also serves as a way for the larger cohort to stay in touch with each other and lean on each other for support as well. In addition to that practicum, each mentor has 4 or 5 new GTAs assigned to their smaller mentor group, which meets about once a week during the first year of teaching. The smaller groups provide time to talk through specific student issues and concerns in a more intimate setting where our focus on care can really shine through. We found that these smaller groups often become lifelong friends, and having a specific mentor who you know you can reach out to at any time is very valuable. I can attest to that as both a mentor and as a former mentee. It's a very nice way to keep things going throughout the first year and beyond.
The reason why we emphasize our teaching mentoring program is because in order to support our undergraduate community, we must also support our graduate community. If our instructors are not supported and they're not encouraged to use community building tools, instead of using these traditional English teaching pedagogies that reinforce archaic beliefs about good and bad writing, then our undergraduate students are similarly unsupported with taking risks and performing research and writing that is meaningful to them and their communities. As someone who's mentored both during and post-pandemic shutdown, I've come to notice the vast differences in community between the cohorts that were and were not afforded the ability to meet face-to-face and to work through pedagogical methods and issues, which makes me even more convinced of the importance of enacting such community building and support programs for those that don't have the affordance of any mentorship at all. In my portion of the workshop, I will model how to present activities for the teaching assistants to be able to use in their own classes. But first, our video will conclude with our 102 coordinator, Beth, who will explain the goals of English 102.
In my portion of the workshop, we will look at the curriculum of English 102, college research and writing, and in particular, the Segment 3 genre product. So the course itself is built off of information literacy and has a rhetorical foundation and allows students to work on their practices and dispositions and really ask essential questions about experiences. So we use a course theme of Milwaukee to ground the course and the rhetorical concepts and give the students a way to connect with the city that they are becoming a part of or living in. In segment 2 is where they do their researched writing, and then in segment 3 is where they remediate that work into a different genre. And ultimately the goal is for them to do research for the public good. So they are writing research for Milwaukee. So in segment 3, students create a public-facing research product, and it's for a specific Milwaukee community that addresses an issue and fills a research need. And the genre options are for them to do a podcast or a documentary. They could do a creative nonfiction piece, write some fiction, do a graphic comic, or other multi-genre text. And ultimately, students can get that work published at UWM's Digital Commons. It's a research repository for UWM authors, so students, faculty, and staff. And this gives students a real public audience to research and write for. And it gives them a way to connect their research and writing to their local community as a way for them to engage. And it's a way for UWM as well to engage with the community.